Welcome to the Mantou Podcast, third episode.
Hi guys.
Topic for today is adulting. First, siguro let's define what adulting is. No? It's easier for us to put things in perspective. So adulting is when you enter workforce, the reality of life. How do you deal with disappointments?
So kapag second year high school, nasa broken-hearted ka na, is that part of it?
It's not yet part of adulting. Adulting siguro yung mga serious stuff. Like, nare-realize mo na you were a student, you have this ideology na life is good, life is perfect, life is gonna be okay after I graduate. But then you enter the reality. You have to pay bills, you have to go to the supermarket, you have to cook. So that's part of adulting.
Yeah.
How do you deal with these kinds of things? And how do you deal with like the negativity surrounding adulting? Like the people around you who has negative energies, like how do you deal with that?
Good topic actually for today's podcast. Since especially now we're going through the COVID and the pandemic, 'di ba? So, feeling ko ano kasi ako feeling ko andun ako sa stage na parang I feel like I'm required or obliged to, or I need to force myself to act like an adult already. Although wala pa actually I wanted to chillax and chill pa and more laid back, and I don't really want to enter, or parang pinapaniwala ko pa yung sarili ko na I'm still not going to be adult. I'm still like, less of an adult, parang young pro, ganyan. So, pero ang dami, I know a lot of friends who's actually into adulting stuff. They're reading books na, how to handle yourself. I talk to a lot of friends, how are they going through their adult life. Ako kasi I would just listen to them. Tapos if I feel like applying it into my life, hindi ginagawa ko. I feel obliged naman, especially with the bills. I handle most of our bills na. I'm forced to work. I can't like after work, parang chill muna. I can't do that.
Hindi ka naman forced labor.
After graduation, hindi naman. Pero feeling ko, parang wala naman tayong choice as a human being after school. We all have to go to work in order for us to live. I'm into adulting now. I'm more responsible now, I could say. I'm more concerned about how to meet the deadlines. Yeah, very important na time management. I went through a time management program. Pero ang hirap actually. I'll be honest hanggang ngayon, even though nandun ako sa age na dapat forced na akong into adulting, parang feeling ko medyo laid back pa rin ako.
The most difficult part.
It's nice to stay young.
What's the most difficult part?
Yeah, of adulting for you.
I believe, yung paying off the bills. Good point yan. Actually, I want to bring up a topic within a topic since we're talking about adulting. Have you guys watched Ang Huling El Bimbo?
Not yet.
Kasi mga busy people.
I'm so sorry. I need to watch.
This week,
I watched it. Actually very nice. We're watching it live.
So you were able to watch it live?
Yeah.
Number one, nanginggit ako sa'yo, Francis. I feel like I'm left behind because I needed to watch a lot more theater shows. Sorry, Scott. So,
Di ka naman, Francis, live audience. May audience participation ba? Kakanta ka rin.
Palakpak lang. Yun na yung best.
yun yung best contribution sa show.
Tsaka yung mga hiyaw, woo, mga ganun.
ang cool, diba? The reason why I was able to bring that up kasi I think it tackles about teenagers who came from different family background. The process of course it was college life, tapos parang they met new friends. So ang dami nilang parang napagsamahan during the college life. And then during their college life, may na-meet silang friend, which is a girl. So 3 boys to. Tapos may na-meet silang isang girl. Tapos yung girl na yon parang mahirap lang sila. So nami-meet lang nila yung girl dun sa canteen. And then parang nag-dream din yung girl na one day makapag-aral ako. And so after graduation, di syempre kanya-kanya ng buhay, ganyan. Parang nagre-reach out pa rin yung girl. Pero, you will never know kasi kung anong mangyayari sa buhay ng isa sa inyo, di ba? So, apparently, since mahirap yung life ng girl, parang she was forced somehow parang to go through like illegal stuff. Like, naging ano siya, parang napag-uutusan. Gets mo? She's not actually part of it. Hindi niya naman gustong gawin yon. So, I feel like parang she's trying to reach out, ganyan. Tapos parang ayaw nang kumonect ng mga friends niya during nung time ng college days ng mga tatlong mga taong to. Kasi nga, di ba, syempre, they're also going through their own personal problems. One wanted to become a filmmaker, the other one wanted to go in government institution, yung isa naman, parang family. So, parang doon ko na-realize na parang andun pa rin ako sa part na I wanted to be part of, friends. I don't want to let go of my, my that culture. Parang I wanted to go to a bar pa rin, hang out But then, siguro, lately, parang na-realize ko before nung college, parang if I go out most of the time, this time parang it's lesser. You have to be, in terms of your finances, you have to measure your finances. Diba? You have to do a budget. May goal ka, may daily goals ka. May physical goal ka. Meron kang lifestyle na pina-follow. I think very important yung lifestyle. You're establishing your lifestyle. For me, yun yung
Lifestyle.
that's how I look at it. Yan.
Scott? Yeah, adulting. How are you dealing with it? What was the most difficult part of adulting for you?
I'm not quite sure when I really started adulting, but I started working since my first year college, and then actually started paying bills when I was college. I tried to pressure na okay, we left this amount of money, then every month ikaw nag-monitor hanggang paubos na. You're studying. Nalala ko 1 year time yun. This amount of money. And then the last 2 months, ako na yung kinakabahan. Almost down na yung pera. So what I did, naghanap ng trabaho. And then, the most difficult part was trying to balance my work, my studies. Because, I remember the times when I do graveyard shifts. It was really tiring. I remember the times when there are days I sleep on day and there are days I sleep on night just to be able to balance work, makapasok sa work, and makakuha ko yung enough units. And then, fortunately, it's been 4 years and next sem will be the last sem, my last 6 units. So it's something na hindi ko alam when I try to think about it. All the OJTs, when I had my OJT, because my course, we need to have 3 OJTs. 2 of my OJTs, you know what happened? Morning, I wake up at 5 to 6. Diba? Pasok ako ng work, ng OJT muna, until 4, 4:30, and I go to work 6 to 12, and I go back at home, 1 o'clock, I sleep to 5. Ganun yung ko, like 3 months, dire-diretso. Yung feeling mo na lutang ka, literally. And then, meron din yung time naman na I need to go graveyard shifts. Sometimes, yung tulog mo, sometimes morning, sometimes evening, sirang-sira body clock. And then, in the middle of the day, 3 hours pa na tulog mo, tatawag sa'yo yung tao. I remember when we have a lot of events din. I slept at 7, gising up. Pagdating ng 12, tumatawag na, paano gagawin natin dito, gagawin dito. So, wala ka ng choice. Yeah. Tapos, the most helpful thing in the adulthood is coffee. I realized coffee was my best friend. And everything I do. Naantok ako madalas, so I need to have coffee. Ayaw ko manantokin, pero inaantok ako. Ayun. Paying the bills, yes. Until now, it's sort of problem. You always deal with sometimes ups and downs. Mas malaki expenses, mas konti. Madalas nag-argue kami ng mama ko. Huwag mo nabilin yan. Dagdag lang sa yan. Dagdag lang sa expenses yan. Ayun. But sometimes I still balance it with eating out. Libre. Mas galante ako sa iba, pero towards myself, sobrang tipid ako. So, I think that's how adulthood was for me. Siguro napaga lang yung adulthood, but it's fun. It's fun, I guess. Because pagdating sa school, we had a lot of things. And then, everything na discuss ng teacher mo, you're already able to, I was able to relate it already to the outside world. If you talk about taxes, about laws, about everything, philosophy, may pinanghuhugutan na ako. So actually, on the other side, it's a blessing in disguise. You get to have more concepts already in your mind to get, absorb a bigger sponge, kumbaga, sa sarili ko, to absorb all the teaching. And then, what's more interesting is I realized that school was actually a sanctuary. Mas gusto ko na pumunta ng school kaysa pumunta ng work. When I go to work, I realize, okay, after 3 months, okay, alam mo na lahat. What's the sense of this one? You don't learn anything new. You feel that you're going down. And then people at work, they feel they're going up. Parang, what's happening? Tapos when in school, everyone don't want to go to school. You want to go to school naman. So parang baliktad lahat. So, but on the brighter side, you get to see a different perspective of things. You get to be the one to appreciate more. Like in school, people are not interested, but I'm really interested because I can apply it directly. Pagdating ko naman sa work, I have fresh ideas. I give to our team or our department, and then makes life more colorful. It's a nice experience being an adult. I'm not sure if I'll finish my adulthood or sumobra, I don't know. But so, yun. How about you, Frances?
Siguro we have the same start, no? After high school, before college, I already start adulting, looking for a job, ganyan. The most difficult part is that you have to deal with people na hindi mo naman pinili to begin. There are people na parang, you're still young and then you're working. Parang there's no credibility to it. Diba? So parang ang dami mong kailangan patunayan for yourself na parang, I deserve to be in that position because to begin with, I wouldn't be hired kung wala akong credentials. So that's
Exactly.
the one thing na parang people don't look at you based on your merits, based on your credentials, but they look at you based on your age. So I think that's the first thing I had to deal with. And then the second siguro is the reality of life na parang, shucks, I'm not in the comfort of my home anymore. I need to work every day together with the rest of the people. I have to wake up early, do the dishes, do my laundry, do my, cook for myself, do my baon. So you have to deal with time management greatly, which is at the time hindi talaga ako magaling sa time management. For me, whatever comes to my plate, okay na yon, then that's it. That's how I deal with things. So yon. And then siguro it was beginning to be better when I went to the temple because that's how I learned, okay, sige, ganito pala mag-adjust ng time, ganito pala yung time management. So you have to create a habit for yourself. So for me, yung time management was stressful enough.
The time, no?
Oo, the time. Kasi wala namang nagtuturo sa'yo they just tell you yung theoretically, you have to manage your time, di ba? Sa school, you need to time for reading, for doing our assignments, for playing.
Ako, I'd like to share something about what you've mentioned, no?
Sige.
Na about time management. Kasi I'll be honest, like all my life, that's one of my, that's the hardest thing that I really couldn't control. And I even, again, like I mentioned kanina, I attended a workshop on time management. My office actually set us to, it's an organization who, actually conduct classes. So naalala ko lang na parang time management is equivalent to discipline. And I just realized na parang no matter how many workshops that you will go through, or how many exercises that you have to, fill up, or kahit mag-online, makinig ka ng online interview or online podcast or, YouTube, parang the only way to deal with time management is really discipline, which is what I've learned from my experience inside the temple. So parang parang it has to be embedded on your body. Kasi 'di ba parang I believe lahat naman tayo, most of us are lazy, 'di ba, when waking up in the morning, that's one thing, or when we're doing some tasks, 'di ba? Pero it has to be embedded on your body. You have to force yourself and tell yourself na parang, oops, I have to do this. So when you have the discipline to do something, then you can manage your time wisely. Kasi kasi yung katawan mo yung kalaban mo. You have to force your body to do something. For example, I want to exercise. If like I started like 9 a.m. in the morning, wake up, do my daily routine. At this time, kailangan nag-gym na ako. And then that's, for me, I call it time management. Kasi may measure mo na. Na parang, I'm doing this at 9 o'clock every day na, tas walang lapse, ganon.
Pero how do you start? Kasi di ba, the beginning is always the most difficult part.
Meditation. Ako,
Say meditation.
Sorry, na-excite ako. Meditation, malaking tulong.
You have to start at some point. Parang when you think na it's okay, sige, gawin mo na muna. Then it will follow nila. You will improve on. Wag ka ma-analysis paralysis. The trick I got, there was a time I realized, after also from the temple, I realized that my theory since I was a few years ago, whatever we do, it starts from all the small habits that we do every day. So like how we eat, how clean we do, how we fix our bed, how we fix our things. That affects everything. Kumbaga, my theory is if you can't do it well in a small thing, how can you do it well in a bigger thing? So I'm telling myself, because okay, I have a bigger dream of doing this. Pero, kahit gaano kalaki dream ko, let's say I want to manage I want to manage a company. Now, if I can't manage the room, just my bag, just my thoughts, just my computer, how do I expect to manage a big company? Okay, this thing nakapunta sa position na yan. I will never to disaster. Kasi magulo rin ako. So, my theory is, okay, I'll start with everything with small. Kung hindi ko kaya, okay, I'll start with small. I started with fixing my bed. I started with fixing my room. So, and then eventually, yung momentum mo, throughout the day, it will come.
That's true. Ako, gusto ko lang i-share pala yung emotions. Management na bring up na ni Scott eh. So, parang, ako kasi as a person, I'm highly emotional especially nung teenager ako. Pre-teen, teen, to young pro, or before adulting stage. Sobrang emotional. And then, what I realize is, part of your adulting stage is becoming less emotional. I'm not saying that you stop being emotional. I'm not saying that you shouldn't be emotional. You need and you have the privilege to be emotional kasi you need it, di ba? Pero, you have to be less emotional. Alam mo yun, di ba? You have to be less sensitive. Di ba? I'm not saying na dapat sobrang malakas na yung loob mo in so many ways. Pero parang you're less sensitive. Nasaktan ka, that's, di ba? Deal with it, stop. Move on. Ganon, dapat mas mabilis na yung process ng moving on. Yun ata yung part ng adulting stage, no? Hindi ka na masyadong emotional. I think that's how I answer your what you're saying about how do you handle the negativity around you, which is also a phase of your adulting stage, diba? So, ako, I would really say na parang I'm less emotional now. So, if I hear parang something that, has an impact on me na parang it feels like parang I'm getting down, I'm getting depressed, or parang ano ba yan, mukhang inaapi na naman ako, or parang meron siyang gustong patunayan or something. I look at it on, meditation helps talaga. I look at it on a different perspective wherein like try to analyze what that person is trying to say or to communicate. And then yun, parang logic, di ba? Parang what's the goal? Why do I have to give more time listening or dealing with you? I couldn't fix you. Parang ganun na yung mentality mo eh. Ganun na yung personality mo eh. So, I couldn't fix you. I will just listen. If you will be ranting to me, telling me na ganito ka, ganyan ka, or sinugod mo ako, or inaway mo ako, done. Okay, di awayin mo ako. So, what's in it for me? After that, what are you trying to communicate? Ngayon, sasabihin ko lang sa'yo kung ano yung dapat kong sabihin, I believe. And that's done. Parang hindi, tapos na. We're good. We're back as normal.
Actually,
less emotional.
In relation to emotions, I think ang pinaka nag-change din is mas kumbaga, instead of just seeing on our own side, we see why they do that. Parang we put, di ba, we put on their shoes. Ba't kaya ginagawa? Ba't kaya sumikaw tong tao? Ano kaya pinagdadaanan niya? So, instead of, apektado ko, sakit to na. Ang baliktad na, ano kaya yung reason? Kaya sinabi niya?
Exactly, diba?
Pag nagkaroon na yung feel mo, wala na yun naman, diba?
I agree with Scott yung kanina kasi ako motivation-driven person ako eh. So I look for motivation, inspiration so I can start something.
Same.
Pero totoo yung you start with small things so you can begin with the bigger stuff. Kasi the first accomplishment you have in the morning is fixing your bed. So for me, every day, that's my accomplishment. And then with regards to what you said, Bod, yung about being less emotional. Actually, medyo mahirap pag-aralan. Being less emotional.
Actually.
I appreciate now how being less emotional will give you a different perspective. Na parang mas detached ka dun sa feelings mo kaysa sa logic. You become more logical on how you deal with people and with things. So I think that's my take on that.
It's helpful.
Yeah,
it's not bad to be emotional, but sometimes kasi we become agitated when we're emotional. It's okay para you feel sad. Just don't make decision first. Okay? Don't react first.
Yeah.
Feel it, understand it. Kasi once, parang we're too happy, we tend to say yes. When we're too sad, we tend to say no. So, I think pinakadelikado when we're too emotional.
Nasabi mo, nabanggit mo, Scott, that's good, actually. Also, I'm going through this phase wherein, I don't know if part ng pagiging Libra ko, may zodiac something, no? Pero, I have the tendency to say yes all the time. And then, yun, parang you're committed to doing whatever, pero you don't feel like doing it, to be honest. Like, I couldn't say no, especially to some friends. Parang it's hard to say no. Pero one of the adulting phase is learning how to say no. And there's nothing wrong with saying no. And I realized, nga naman, bakit ka yes ng yes? So parang, yun, you're just trying to be logical. If you can't commit, then say no. If you're not interested, then, it's related to feeling ko emotions eh. Na parang the reason why you're saying yes, because you don't want to make the other person, feel sad or rejected. Because I don't want to be rejected. The reason why you're not saying no, kasi I don't want to be rejected so that the person I'm talking to, I don't want that person feel rejected too. So I'll just say yes, even though that I'm actually not interested in doing whatsoever. And so I realized na parang, wait, are you trying to accommodate everyone? Tapos, pag heavy on your load, saka ka magre-reklamo. So, na-realize ko, parang, okay, not supposed to say yes all the time. You have to learn how to say no.
Yeah. And also, to give a point now, yung assumption usually you have an assumption na ganito mo feel ng tao.
Yeah.
Just actually on us. Diba? How we feel. Ayaw natin sabihin diretsuhan kasi for us, pag diniretso tayong tao, we don't feel right. So, we're pag diniretso nating taong to, baka they won't feel right. But actually, it's just an assumption. Does not necessarily mean that's true. Or
exactly.
And when you realize that, okay, so, di ka na magiging mas detached ka na sa decision making mo.
Since na-bring up mo rin nga yan, ang dami kong ideas lalo na. Kasi 'di ba, parang one part of our culture or our nature, mahihain tayo. I think pre-teen gano'n ako eh, parang ang hirap i-approach. Parang big person, parang parang ano siya eh, parang one of the best senators, mga ganyan. Politician. Director, school director. Ano yan, chairperson ng department namin. I couldn't really reach out. But di ba, ikaw na lang? Parang ganyan, di ba? And then I realized, wait, they're also human beings. What suppresses you to not approach a person? So, I just realized na parang straight to the person, ask, be courteous enough to say something. Yun, I have so many things na na-realize lang na parang, that's part pala of my adulting stage. Yan.
Yeah, true. Ako,
so,
what I learned from adulting is that don't base your decision on emotions. When you're too happy, don't make rash decisions. Yeah. Because you tend to become a people pleaser. You just say yes to everything, and then when you're sad or you're angry or upset, if you make decisions, you might regret. So I think from adulting, yun yung natutunan ko. How about you guys?
Diba, a lot of people are having hard time on making decisions. Diba? Parang, I've met a lot of people that they tell me, I'm decisive. But, yes, indecisive may be a problem if you stick on being indecisive for the long run. But if you're just thinking about trying to weigh out, I mean, that's fine. Kasi yun nga, as you mentioned, Francis, sometimes we feel na we need to make decisions right away. And then that's the problem of many leaders. Feeling nila, as long as I can make a decision, that's right. That's a good leader. But actually, no. Sometimes hindi na sila nag-iisip. We don't want to bias over that. And we don't want to also bias over being too indecisive to not decide right away. But as long as you think, and that's my last thing.
I think ako naman, I've learned so many things from our discussion. And I want to highlight on learning how to say no because it's very important. Of course, like what you said, Francis, less emotional. And, I'm not saying na parang be hard, parang wala ka ng heart, but, learn to meet the balance and be logical, diba? More logic than your feelings. And you start with small, Scott, diba? I learned something from Scott, which is start from the small. From small steps, baby steps, it will grow bigger. So habits will really turn everything, and habits and discipline will turn everything successful. And I know if that's your motivation on becoming an adult, you want it to be successful, start with a small step. I'm actually so happy about our topic today, and I feel like I'm an adult. Although, like I said, parang oh no. Ayoko na lang i-force sarili ko eh. Pero yeah, I think we are all going to that phase wherein okay, you have to accept it na lang na, oy, adult ka na. Enough na with you being childish. Diba?
Yeah, true. Perfect.
Yun.
That ends our podcast.
Great.
Thank you,
I don't
guys.
know supposed to actually, guys, thank you for supporting us, and I hope that you continue supporting our, weekly podcast. This is very important because I believe in one way or another, our podcast or our learning discussion will enable you guys to learn something from our, simple sharing. Don't forget to comment, like, and share our podcast.
Thank you so much.
You guys have to plug our page.
Instagram, it's bilayad.ph. And Scott, for Facebook?
Facebook, BLIAYED Philippines. So if you have any questions, interested in Buddhism, on anything, just send a message. We'll try our best to reply as fast as we can.
Thank you guys.
See you again. Bye.
I hope you guys